Hello, Spectrum here. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial. I've got an outline, so if I refer to the outline, there is a plan, so I'm going to go through the plan. Okay, so we're going to go to the War Manager. I already created a war, but you would go to Single Player, Easy Mode, Create War. The tutorial will create it automatically in a single step, but this is to help get us started until that tutorial is finished. So I'm going to do a set active, and that makes that war active. It loads the war menu, and I'm going to assume command of my ship. It gets the galaxy map, puts me into the orbit of the planet. So let's talk about how to navigate around. Okay, so down here in the bottom, you'll see some little planets. This is the planets in the system. So I can navigate to planet B. So I'm going to select the button, navigate to planet B, and it will fly us over to planet B and put us into orbit of that planet. Okay. The rest of the screen here over in the lower right hand side, this is the chat menu. And then we have commands down here, and this is our system library. We'll talk about this a little bit more a little bit later. In the left hand side here, it tells you that you're moving to planet B and that you entered the orbit. So this is kind of a text-based explanation of what's going on. The original game was all text-based, and we tried to leave some of that in. So for example, I have full commands, NAVC, and this will take me back to planet C. Now that will be the exact same as clicking this and clicking the nav button. So I'm going to take nav C. The reason I'm showing you the commands is it's kind of easier sometimes just to type the commands versus, especially when you're trying to go to a certain system number. It may not be on your screen. Even if you zoom out, it's hard to find it. Just typing in the navigation to that star system is a lot easier, and we'll see the use of that in just a few minutes. Okay, so I'm in the orbit. Let's take a look at what options are of the planet. So I have end at the planet, I have enter the trading post, enter the dry dock, enter the bank, or attack, pillage, or occupy the planet. So let's enter the dry dock first. This is the dry dock. This is where I can actually change the look of my ship. So I could do a Raven, for example. Now I actually have to purchase this, and it will change the Raven and exit the dry dock, and you will see that I have a Raven. Now I can hold the middle mouse button and rotate around to be able to see my ship, and use the wheel to zoom out, and use the wheel to zoom in, so you can see my ship there just like that, and you can see the little lights on the planet. Such fun. Okay, so let's now look at the trading post. What is at the trading post? So this is the Imperial Trading Post, and we've still got some work to do in here because we're in alpha still. But this allows you to rearm torpedoes, missiles, and probes, reload troops and fighters, unload troops and fighters, or unload is the same as selling it, or dump torpedoes and missiles and probes back onto the base. This is what's in the ship cargo, what's in the Imperial base, and what's currently in the trading post. So you can see on board I have 100 torpedoes, 30 missiles, 30 probes. Now the ship cargo, that's for holding things other than ship ammo, because ship ammo is displayed in this area right here. So I'm going to exit the trading post. That brings us back in, and you can see up here in the top area up here, this is some information about what my ship has on board. Has 100 torpedoes, 30 missiles. All that information's up here, and your XY coordinate, what your heading is, what the temperature of your engines are, how many probes and troops and that kind of thing. All that's up here. This is important data to keep an eye on. It's kind of light to the screen because you don't have to know what it is all the time. But we had some players say, hey, I really want to see what's going on. How many missiles do I have left? And we put that on the top up here. Okay? All right. So basically that is all of our screen. And let's talk about how to fly in normal space. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do it. Let me zoom in on my ship here. So that's where our ship is. So if I right click, all right, if I right click, that allows me to fly this ship by right clicking and he will turn to the direction that I clicked in. Okay? So the other way to do it is to use the AWSD keys. So if I push the A key, if I push the D key, and you can see down in the left it tells me my heading and my speed, and I can push the S key. Okay, that's not in this version, that's in the older version. Okay, alright, so hopefully by the time it works, the W keys and the S keys will increase and decrease the speed. It's just not in this version that I have right now. And here again, middle mouse button will allow me to spin around and look at me leaving the system. And that allows me to see what's going on. So I'm going to click here. We're going to navigate to planet C. You can see it automatically turns my ship around and locks me on target. So if I hover over things, I am told what that does. And you can see enter hyperspace, ship library, previous helm commands, next helm commands, that kind of thing. So we've done our best to kind of give you some helpful hints as you move around. Okay, now you're going to see this little enter hyperspace button disappear in just a second. There, and also this goes red. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to stop for just a second. The red means I'm inside the gravity well of the sun. If I'm too close to the sun, I can't go to warp because it will damage the ship. So I'm going to right click in the opposite direction of the sun, and you'll see this will become green right now, and that button, enter hyperspace. So I'm going to press enter hyperspace. Now that shoots me out to hyperspace. Again, the middle mouse button allows you to zoom in and zoom out. Now the colors of the stars are going to be changing, but at the moment the colors of the stars go according to their intensity. Okay, so let's click on a star, and I'm going to send a probe. Now you'll see my probe take off, flies into that system, and comes back. And this, and now I can hover over top of this planet, and it will give me that planet's data. I can hover over this planet. There is no data, and you can see that the box over top doesn't tell me anything. This box now highlights and shows me there's some decent planets in there. So you can see I have an 82 hab. There's no bases on there's no bases on any of those planets. See along the right hand side there. And it also tells me their habitability and their metal ratings. Okay? So if I hover over the system in right here, you can see Dark Helmet owns 100, which is the Imperial base. Now what I'm going to do in this tutorial, in this version of the game, I have to fly to star systems 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order to attack the enemies. We're going to make a version change here very quickly and change the way that works. So in this version, I'm going to type a nav space 5, and I'm going to fly to system 5. And you can see it's right here. It's got the little targeting on it, so I can see that from here. Now while I'm flying, I'm going to go ahead and launch some probes, and we're going to launch several probes to kind of let it start looking in those other star systems. Now when I enter this system, you can see I have a little red up here. That is an enemy who is locked and already started firing on me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn here. We're going to lock. I'm going to fire up my engines, and I'm going to begin firing on him. There we go. So we're going to come around behind, and we're going to shoot him with our lasers. You have a laser that's on the front and a laser that's on the aft. And firing those lasers together will cut through his shields. Now you'll see in this area right here, you can see I have a blue and a cyan, and a blue and a cyan. This is my forward, and this is my aft. So you can see he's going to hit me on the aft here in just a second. Boom! But he didn't take the shields all the way down, so he didn't actually do any hull damage. Now, I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to hit him, and you can see I hit him on his front. Fire again, hit him on his aft at that point. So you want to pick a side and do damage. So if I turn, and I fire, I'm going to hit him with one laser on the front. Now the bar, I can fire and fire and fire as fast as I can, but that you can see it's not doing hardly any damage at all to him. It's just hitting his shields. You can see his shields not even being penetrated at all. Now, what you want to do is you want to let this cooldown bar cool down so you can get enough damage on this guy. So I'm going to turn around here, and we're going to try to hit him with both our lasers. There we go. So you can see the little red came up. I actually did some hull damage that time. So there we did. We did some more hull damage. You can see his back hull is starting to come down. And I'm going to come around here so we get him. Ooh, lots of hull damage that time. Once you start damaging shields, he'll take more and more hull damage each time as he goes. Ooh, almost got him. Very little sliver left. And fire. Okay, so we got him just then. So I'm going to navigate to planet C. Now, while I'm doing that, if you hover over a planet, it will tell you its name and who the current owner is. And the owner is Borg the Merciless. Borg is one of the players that loved MegaWars, and we lost Borg several years ago. He passed. But he loved MegaWars, and it was his passion to play the game. So we've done some things to remember some of the players that we've lost over the years. So I'm going to go into the attack menu. So we're going to attack this planet. Now you can see the planet terrain is being scanned right here. And this is what the planet looks like. So I am going to occupy this planet. And you'll notice here, the grateful colonists have upgraded your ship. And it says the colonists are happy to join your empire. So this now, you'll notice on the left over here, my name is Guest, okay? I own this planet. The space is open to me now. And it shows me that there's troops and fighters, and there's some taxes here. And that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and return to orbit. Now we'll kind of zoom out, zoom around so we can see where we are here. Now you'll notice when he upgraded my ship, my torpedo tubes now need to be loaded. So I'm going to click on torpedo tubes, and you'll see that my energy went down just a little bit. When torpedoes take energy, shields take energy, engines take energy, lasers take energy, and you want to make sure that you always have energy, because having no energy is bad, very, very bad. So let's take a real quick look at manage your planet. So we have the planet view, and then we have the planet settings. We have labor settings, and this will be another tutorial of what your basic industry settings are and how to set those and how to get all your workers to work. And we have 10% unemployment. That's not necessarily a good thing. That's kind of bad. So this tutorial will not go into that. And this is your warehouse, how much equipment you have. All of this is here, and all this is very important to learn. And we'll do that in another tutorial. So I'm going to exit planet management. And so there is your basics for everything that you need to win the game. So I went to System 5, so you'll go to System 6, System 7, System 8. You can type that into the bar, or you can go out into hyperspace and find the planets is the other way to do it. Okay? All right, this is Spectrum, and to end, I'm going to press the planet, and I'm going to say End at Planet, and it takes me back out to the main menu. Thank you very much. Have a good night.